Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hallmark Movie Drafts, the monthly podcast where guest panelists are all Hallmark movie enthusiasts who love to debate, rank, and create definitive top 10 lists of Hallmark movies. It is March, and HMD is going all in on Hallmark mystery movies, specifically drafting the 10 best mystery series, but with a twist. We're drafting them based on the pilot movie only. I'm Lynn Austin, your host, and co hosting with me today, fresh off her victory lap from only a couple of weeks ago, is HMD's Tournament of Champions 2024 champion, Jenna. Hey, Jenna.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. The question is,
Good.
how are you doing? How's that trophy that you won? Did you find a place for it?
I did. It's going to be on my living room table. It's going to be a conversational piece and is near the shake weight that I still have on my table that is also used as a conversational piece. You can never have too many of those, you know?
You can't. I think you actually told me off air that it will double as a weapon just in
It
case. You
will.
can defend yourself with it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it can be multi-purposeful.
Very good. Those edges are sharp for sure.
Mhm.
So look, I know you're a huge mystery and crime fan. This list had 28 eligible movies on it. Was it hard for you to come up with your final 10? Did you have to flip your phone a couple of times as you do?
Yes, it was so hard, and there was phone flipping involved, except for some of them. A couple of them I had not seen, the older ones, but like 98% of them I've seen. And so it was really hard because I do watch these over and over again a lot versus the normal Hallmark romance movies. These are just a natural fallback for me. So it was really hard to get down to 10. Really hard.
Yeah, I could get it down to 15
Yeah.
easily. And it was a little tough to get it to 12. And it was extremely painful for me to get it to 10. I was noticing as I was going through the eligibility list that Brennan Elliott is like the only male Hall star that starred in two totally different mystery series. We did the Brennan Elliott draft a couple of years ago. He joined us at the end, which was
Hmm.
just so great. He was on for like 30 minutes that were recorded, 45, off air. So Brennan Elliott, shout out, such a good human. Just such a good human. And speaking of good humans, let's introduce this month's panelists. They are all huge mystery movie fans. They've been waiting more than a year to get to today's draft. And I put the three of them together because they have very different real life experiences, different gameplay approaches, but their common thread is that they will not hesitate to drop a couple of four-letter words, specifically the word VETO, veto, because they're all super competitive and enthusiastic. They have a shared passion to try to get their personal favorite movies onto the final top 10 list. So, Jenna, I don't know. Do you think they're going to play with love or do you think the competitiveness is going to come out?
I think the competitiveness is going to come out. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. First up is Yumi. Yumi, welcome back. It's been a while, right?
It's been so long, although it doesn't feel like it. That's time for you, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. You did the Antonio Cayon draft back in June 2023, and Antonio joined us at the end of that match to chime in with his thoughts, which was so much fun. You've been to his restaurants as
I
well, because
have.
you're like a foodie like me. Have you been to them again since that draft?
Yes, so a few of the Seattle area double deckers, we did a road trip up to Vancouver and we went to the third of his restaurants. Um, and so we had a great time and he was a very gracious host and had a lovely meal and just really enjoyed it. And he's he's great at being a restaurateur. So it's a great
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. We want to do an HMD road trip there someday soon.
I
Not that far
I think
away.
it would be great. He's
Yeah.
wonderful. The food's really good. The food's really interesting, right? So I think that's what I enjoy. Hey, sorry, I've got chimes in the background.
Okay. I do yoga and Pilates, so if we need to like take a moment and pause and tap into our inner,
Yeah,
our inner
it's a little
eye,
windy
our
here
third
today,
eye.
so yeah. Anyway,
I was also thinking about when you were on, I believe when we were getting ready to record, you actually did the recording because you were on your way to the airport. And today, you were sending me your final 10 list when you were in an airplane coming home.
That is correct. I was seeing the same group of people. I
Oh, yeah.
apparently have to record at HMD podcast. It's like every time. So
That's
be
exactly
warned.
what we were talking about. It's
Yeah.
like we think that Yumi schedules her trips and the drafts that she wants to do when she's traveling. She's either going to come back or she's going
Nope.
there.
Nope. It just happened to be that way. And I was like, I can't believe this is happening again, but there we go.
It's perfect. All right. One final question. How difficult was it for you to come up with 10 movies out of the 28?
You know, I tried to do this. I was like, I just have a spreadsheet. I do the movies. I have categories. I gave scores. And then what happened is I had a lot of ties, right? Like somehow they all ended up with the same points. And so then I was like, okay, now I have to flip it around. So I don't know if it was hard to get to 10. What I did find was in rewatching some that I thought I really enjoyed watching them again up against some other ones. So I was just watching them one after another. I was like, oh, that's just not as good as I remember it being. So that made it a little easier, but I have several ties in there. So um, that required a bit more of like, gut feeling. I think this one's a little better. So
Well,
that part was challenging.
well, good luck today. You're actually coming back into the match with a leftover veto from the Antonio Cajon draft. So the trivia round
Hooray.
might be important to you.
Might
You
be.
never know. And Jenna, just so you know, she said flip it around. She didn't say flip her phone. So your trademark and copyright on phone flipping for decision making will still hold up in court. And if it doesn't, I think our next panelist can help you out should you choose to sue. So, someone who is making their second appearance on HMD. She was a guest co-host for the Hall Star Mashup edition back in February of 2024, where we did the 10 best movies among Mark Blucas, Travis Van Winkle, and Brand Dortry. But it's her very first time drafting, and she's the perfect person to be on this panel because she's a lawyer in real life. Hey, Whitney, welcome back.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me. So excited to be here. So excited, especially for this category.
Whitney, what is your field of law? What do you
Um,
practice?
Essentially, I do civil litigation, so everything but criminal, everything but law and order. But I am in court and uh, quite often, so but on the civil side of things. So no one's going to jail, luckily. People are just paying each other money.
Okay, so if Jenna does get into trouble criminally, you can still honestly say that you have never had a case where someone has gone to jail, should you lose it.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
there you
Mm.
go. But Jenna, you're okay. You're in good hands. Okay, so in looking over the eligibility list for this draft, I think there's only one mystery franchise that features a lawyer character in the lead. I could be wrong because let's face it, I usually am, but I think it's just Darrow and Darrow because Haley Dean Mysteries with Kelly Martin, she's a former prosecutor who quits her job to become a therapist slash counselor. So, Whitney, if you stopped being a lawyer, what career change would you make?
I can tell you, I wouldn't make the one that Brooke Shields' character makes in the flower shop mysteries and stop being a lawyer to open a flower shop because number one, my allergies just wouldn't support that. And I'm not really that great with flowers. I think they're beautiful, but that is not what I do. What would I would be a detective. I mean, honestly, and there are some, as you mentioned, retired prosecutors that became detectives. I think that would be a great path.
I could see that in you. That would be awesome. Did you have any difficulty in trying to come up with 10, or was it pretty easy for you to slash right through the excess?
No, it was very, very difficult. Like many people, I've seen most of these before, but I think my memory of them was as a series and turning on the TV on a Saturday and there being, a crossword puzzle marathon and watching them all. So it was kind of like they were collectively bunched, but when you just parse it down to just watching the pilot, you really only get a snapshot in time. So I felt it was very different. No, it was really difficult. I would say 15 was easy, but to then start cutting it down from there was difficult, more than I thought it would be.
Same here. All right. Well, good luck today. You're not coming in with anything extra because this is your first time officially drafting. And that
No.
leads me finally to our third panelist, who is a no stranger to HMD because she's my usual partner in crime on this podcast. It's Erin Beth, who is also a huge, huge mystery fan.
Hello. How are you doing today? Because I am uber excited.
I know. I tried to
Very,
boot
very
you off
excited.
this panel 3 times, right? To make room for somebody else. And you dug in
Oh
your
my
heels and you said,
gosh.
oh no, no, I won't.
I'm gonna get, a little nostalgic here. My love of mysteries, my grandma would watch, I mean, Murder She Wrote and you get into I was a child of the 80s. Like we were born on the spies and the mysteries and detectives and so, I just absolutely love that feel. And I think Hallmark does that very like surface level, not too scary, not, mystery. And there's nothing better than a good mystery.
Yeah, the cozy mysteries, as they call them,
Cozy
right?
mystery.
Yeah.
That's the part. Yes, cozy mysteries.
So, Erin Beth, this eligibility list just kept morphing over the past 12 months as more mystery movies were added that used to be just one-offs. So they became eligible because we said we're not doing any one-offs. There have to be two movies. There has to be a pilot and at least one episode in order for it to be considered a series for this. Okay. And so one of the ones that I happened to trip over was a Hallmark trilogy called Good Night for Justice that ultimately we decided wasn't really eligible because it wasn't really mystery forward. It's this Western that takes place in the stagecoach days with Luke Perry on a horse. Why not, right? He did a Hallmark movie
Always.
where he's on a horse. I can't think of it, but Paradise something. And his 90210 buddy Jason Priestley was the director for that pilot, and he travels around the West protecting innocent people from injustices, as he's also trying to find the guys who killed his mother when he was a young boy. So it's a little dark for Hallmark, which is kind of surprising. You know, the pilot was in 2011, and all three films were written by the incredible writing team of Tippy and Neil Dabrowski, and they ran from 2011 to 2013. And that writing team is just incredible. Their scripts are always so good.
They have written so many great Hallmark movies. So is this your way of saying that there's going to be a Dabrowski draft in, I don't know, 2030?
Yeah. 2030, 20, I think 2027, actually. I know you're making fun of me, but yeah, I actually do think 2027. All right. Beyond that, we did have some other challenges to try to find one particular pilot for this, and it was the true pilot for the Mystery Woman series that starred Kelly Martin. And listeners, that pilot is not Murder Weekend, is it, Erin Beth?
No, it's not. And it was a big struggle. I am usually able to find some way to watch these movies, at least to give an option, even if it's purchasing them from somewhere. And this movie is nowhere to be found. I did find it on YouTube in Russian, uh, at one point, but I was like, that's not going to work. And then Alicia came to the rescue and she found it in Spanish with available subtitles. So we were able to watch it in Spanish with English subtitles so that we could judge it off of the actual pilot.
Yeah, it's an absolute ride. But listeners, you can watch it for free actually on YouTube. You don't need a paid subscription to see it. And then just click the little subtitles to English so you can actually catch the real pilot. Aaron Beth, before I start talking about eligibility, you two are actually coming back into this match with a leftover veto as well. So trivia round is going to be important to you too. Okay. All right. So let's start switching into gameplay. To be eligible for this draft, as I already said, there has to be a pilot plus at least one other movie. So that's 28 mysteries series pilots that are eligible as of today, including one that was just added a couple of weeks ago, Mystery Island, because there's a new movie appearing making it eligible as a series. That movie drops next weekend. We're recording this on March 9th. So we all sucked it up and watched it at the last minute so that we could see if any of us wanted to put it on our list. You can see the final eligibility list on our letterbox. Shout out to Kate for creating and managing that. It's such a great resource. All right, so let's talk drafting positions for this match. There are 3 of them, A, B, and C. Drafter C picks positions 10, 7, and 3 on the list. They get 1 veto and 1 veto override card. Drafter B picks positions 9, 6, 4, and 2 on the list. Drafter B gets 1 veto card because they get more picks than anyone else, so more opportunities to get their personal choices onto the final list. And drafter A picks positions 8, 5, and the number 1 position on the list. They get 1 veto card plus a bonus veto, so that position gets the number 1 movie pick and basically 2 vetoes. So how do we decide who gets to be drafter A, B, or C? That's where Jenna comes in. She's going to go over the trivia rules, and then she's going to test your knowledge with a round of trivia questions related to the movies. Just keep in mind that the first person to answer 1 question correctly gets to choose whether they want to be drafter A, B, or C, but they'll also be up first in the veto order. And the second person to answer the next question correctly gets to choose theirs from the remaining 2 positions, and they'll be second in the veto order as well. And then the third panelist gets whatever's left over. And again, Erin, Beth, and Yumi, you each have 1 veto left over that you can use in addition to whatever vetoes come with your drafting position. Okay? All right, Jenna, it's now all up to you. Good luck, everybody.
Okay, here are the 3 trivia rules. First one, you can't answer until I finish asking the question. No jumping in before I finish speaking. Number 2, as soon as I've finished asking the question, raise your Zoom hand and I'll call on you. Then you can give your answer. I will tell you if your answer is right or wrong. If you're wrong, you can't guess again until the other drafters have made a guess. And the last one, number 3, if no one knows the answer, no hints or clues will be given. We'll just move on to another question. Anyone have any questions on the trivia rules? Okay, then let's get your Zoom hands ready. First trivia question from the movie Jane Doe Vanishing Act, starring Leah Thompson. What Hall star plays her daughter? Erin, Beth.
Jesse Schrum.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, Yumi was right on your tail, though. Her hand was up like lightning. Put your hand down, Erin Beth.
Okay, question number 2. In the movie The Cases of Mystery Lane with Amy Garcia and Paul Campbell, what is Aiden boxing up throughout the movie and shipping? Whitney.
Robots.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, Yumi again, right
I
on
know.
her.
That's all right. That's all right.
Jenna, that was fabulous. Great, great questions. And listeners, go to our Instagram account at Hallmark Movie Drafts and check out all of the posts that I did using Jenna's trivia questions. She came up with some real bangers, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so Erin Beth, what position would you like to draft in? Would you like to be drafter C, B, or A?
I never realized how hard it is when you do get that first choice.
Yeah, and
I've
you
had
have
it before.
and you have another veto to add
I
to
know that's why
whatever
I'm
you
trying to
choose.
decide, do I want 3 picks or 3 vetoes or the 4 picks? I think I am gonna stick with my tried and true drafter B.
Erin Beth will be drafter B. She'll get picks 9, 6, 4, and 2. That comes with 1 veto, but she has an extra veto that she's bringing into the game, so she will have 2 vetoes. Okay, Whitney, that leaves drafter C or drafter A. Which one would you like?
I'm going to pick drafter A.
Whitney is going for drafter A, which means she gets picks 8, 5, and the number 1. And that comes with 2 vetoes. So you've evened the veto playing field so far for everyone, because that leaves you, Yumi, as drafter C. To kick off the list, you're getting positions 10, 7, and 3. You have 1 veto. You're the player with the veto override. And you have your carryover veto from your Antonio Keone match. So you basically have two vetoes and an override.
Very
Yeah.
exciting.
Yumi, what are you thinking? They've put the burden on you to kick off this list. What are you thinking for that number 10 slot?
I have to be really honest. My number 10 surprised me. I was very surprised that I ended up with this at number 10. But having watched it again, I really enjoyed it. And it's Garage Sale Mysteries.
Garage sale mysteries.
I
Okay.
did. And
That,
here's why.
yeah, tell us
And
why.
the funniest thing is, like, I didn't watch Full House. I've never been like a huge Lori Loughlin fan, but she was quite charming in this movie. And it won me over. Once I got past the fact that her husband and the rest of the series is totally different, I was okay. But yeah, there's something about her charm that really just made me enjoy this a lot more than I remembered or thought I would on another viewing.
Well, as I understand it, a lot of criminals are charming in real life, so
Yes,
you never know.
yes, indeed.
Garage Sales Mysteries, the pilot, that's actually just the name of the pilot. There are 15 movies in that series. The one that we looked at, of course, the pilot was in 2013. Lori Loughlin, of course, is Jennifer Shannon. Rick Ravanello is who played her husband in this, her husband Jason. So Jennifer Shannon can always find a diamond in the rough at garage sales. She's made a career out of her treasure hunting prowess, but when a string of burglaries?
It's like cute. Like if a puppy came and
Yes,
stole something from you, it would be a burglary.
yes.
It's gonna be one of those nights. All right, let me try to say that word again. But when a string of burglaries, why is that hard? That is so incredibly hard for me to say.
Think
String.
Hamburglar. Just think Hamburglar.
Well, now I'm just
Burglary.
going to be having a giggle fit. All right, but when a string of burglaries hit her town, Jennifer must use her keen eye for detail and her natural problem-solving instincts to help her piece together the clues and catch the criminal before it's too late. So Yumi loves this at number 10. She's told us why. Erin, Beth, you are first up in the veto order. Are you going to veto this movie?
I will not veto this movie. I I would like to say Lynn made fun of me because of this movie. I started like questioning. I was like, oh my gosh, is a bad movie? I really love Garage Sale Mysteries. I think it's fun. I think it was one of my ways of judging them. Everyone knows I do the little scoring, which did nothing in for this, as Yumi said before. Nothing. But I have had a spot for, did it leave you wanting more? And this was one that it was like, I remember watching it the first time and being like, I can't wait till they make more of these. So yes, it left me wanting more. Yay, Russell Mysteries.
Yay!
Whitney, that means it's your turn. So Erin Beth is fine with this at number 10. What do you think about Garage Sale Mysteries?
It's number 15 on my list. So it's definitely not a series that I hate. If it's on, I'll binge it. I find Lori Loughlin delightful in this series and also on the Hallmark Christmas movies. The North Pole was one of my favorites when it disappeared from Hallmark, uh, for obvious reasons. I was devastated, and now it like has a permanent space in my DVD just in case something happens again. I don't know what I'll do if I have to get a new DVD, but yeah, I like this. It's not on my list, but I'm definitely not vetoing it. I think it has a place and it's great.
Well, perfect. All right. Congratulations, Yumi. You got your first pick locked in at number 10. So Erin Beth, it's up to you now. What are you thinking for number 9?
I would like Gourmet Detective, please, for number 9.
Gourmet Detective. Oh my gosh. So there were 5 movies in this series. The pilot was in 2015. Brooke Burns is Maggie. Dylan Neal is Henry. Kimberly Sustad is in this pilot as well. Famed culinary consultant Henry Ross is a charming industry insider in San Francisco when a suspicious sabotage ends in a shocking murder at his friend's five-star restaurant. Henry is put on the case with strong-willed police detective and single mom Maggie Price, and despite Maggie's protests, they must work together to decipher the clues and investigate all of San Francisco's top culinary pros. I'm getting hungry just thinking of it. Why do you like this movie at number 9? Gourmet
Okay,
Detective.
full disclosure, I absolutely adore Dylan Neal. I just love him. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything I did not like him in. I think as a pilot, this was fantastic. It could have been a standalone and it would have been great. It didn't feel like they were just trying to feel things out. Like a lot of the pilots, you can tell they're just trying to see what's going to work. Um, from the first one to the last one, the characters on this were good. And when he walks into the chess match at the very end, how could you not just fall in love with that man? Dylan Neal.
Dylan Neal.
Dylan
Yeah.
Neal.
Okay. Dylan Neal. I'm saying nothing. Let's see. Whitney, you are first up in the veto order because Aaron Beth picked it. I can't tell by your expression if you feel the way I do or not. So, what are you thinking about Gourmet Detective at number 9?
Respectfully, Aaron Beth was only watching Dylan Neal because I agree. He's a delight. His character is wonderful. Her character is horrible. I think they have a cute, witty banter going on, and it's really not at all. It's very off-putting. I didn't like them together. I agree. I really like him. He's only one part of the movie. I also thought they made all the men like very indistinguishable, so it was almost even when the reveal came was almost like, well, they all look the same. They're all doing the same thing. No, I have to veto this. I have a very short should not be on the list. I did not think this was going to come up so quickly. And this is near the top. And it's very short. But no, this should not be on the list. I just fear we're not going to get to like the really good solid ones. And again, we could have a draft just for him because I agree he's great. It's just not in this, and this movie just didn't hold it together. So I'm going to veto it. I'm sorry, Aaron Beth. I don't feel the same way.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have
My
the hate that you're
heart,
going to choose
my
a better
heart just
movie.
broke in two. However, I could play it higher up. So,
Well, hang on. Yumi, I have not forgotten yet because it's still early in
oh,
the match. As I
Mm.
recall, Yumi has a veto override, and Yumi is a foodie. So I don't know. Yumi?
So I actually really enjoy this one. I really, really do. And part of it, Whitney, I take your point about her character, but I love for the first time, like the professional detective police person is a woman. And it's not the other way around. Because in all of these, the dilettante on the detective side is the woman, right? So I really enjoyed that they switched it up. Um, I'm really torn because I'm either gonna override this veto to have it here, or I might encourage Erin Beth to do what she just threatened to play it higher up. Um, but to play it safe, I'm going to override the veto.
Wow. This is the first time a veto
you.
override has been played in like forever. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
And
you're
not
welcome.
and not on herself.
Yeah, yes,
It's
exactly.
true. There have been
Exactly.
a couple of those. That's true. All right. So Yumi has done it. Veto overrides. Whitney, you are up with your first pick.
I'm going to draft Jane Doe as number 8. I love the fact, to Yumi's point, that it's a female in the lead, the undercover spy work, and that she really is clearly the star of the show and this very complicated, you know, actual stakes mystery. And that she's doing the work, the undercover stuff with the grocery store and what is it, the CSA in the basement. I just found that so fun. I kind of forgot that the series existed. To your point earlier about this being one of the first on Hallmark, but I do recall watching the series and just loving it. I love that they incorporated the family dynamics into this, and it seems very like so much of a higher budget than some of the newer ones. So I just loved it. I mean, she gets trapped by a motorcycle. I mean, a motorcycle, a helicopter after a car chase in the very beginning. I was like, this is different, and I really like it.
Okay, so great pick, Whitney. So Jane Doe, there's 9 in the series. It started in 2005. The pilot's called Vanishing Act, Jane Doe, Vanishing Act. It's Leah Thompson is the lead as Kathy Davis. Jessie Schramm plays her daughter in this as well. This is such a great series. It was part of Hallmark Channel's very first mystery wheel before they became Hallmark Movies and Mysteries that they ran between 2005 and 2008. So there was a rotation of 4 mystery series: Jane Doe, McBride, Murder 101, which is the Dick Van Dyke one, and Mystery Woman. So Leah Thompson is a mom who quit the Central Security Agency years ago, as you said, and is secretly called in as a consultant to solve the mysteries. And it's great to see like this strong performance. Clearly, they had a great budget as well, as you just said. So interesting pick, very OG for number 8. But will it stay there, Erin Beth? Hmm.
Um, it is not on my list, but I'm not sad about it being on the list. I do not feel like this was a great out of the gate pilot. I do love the series, and the rest of the series is really good. But I kept cringing. I was like, you know what the best way to hide from people is? Wearing bright pink and running full view right in front of us. I mean, and the series gets so much better. And
Well,
if I
I would
had
do,
just
Erin
seen
Beth.
this movie, what?
That's probably what I would do. Wear hot pink and be running around.
That's the point of it. Not someone who is trained by the equivalent of the CIA. I just didn't. I when I watched it, I'm like, I do not remember this first movie being so cheesy, but I love the Jane Doe series, so I'm happy to have it on the list.
Okay. Erin Beth's happy with it at number 8. What about you, Yumi? What do you think of the Jane Doe series?
It was so close to being on my list because I also love this series. The pilot wasn't as um, I don't know, as captivating for me as I remembered the whole series being. To Whitney's point
Mhm.
in the intro, like you think of them as the entire thing and you go, "Oh, I love that one." And then you watch the pilot and you're like, "Oh, why did I love it so much?" But I'm not sad it's on here either because I love it and yeah. So, I think we'll let this one stay.
Jenna, did you like the Jane Doe series? Is that one that you watch?
I did. It's actually on my list. So it it's one of those where I liked the mystery of it, right? It wasn't a murder. It was one of the old school mysteries. And because like a lot of these you have to, I looked at the mystery itself and how long it took me to figure it out or just the complexities. Take away, like, yeah, she didn't hide very well. Like when she was like looking at things, but like the mystery itself was interesting to me. So that's why it made my list. So
Yeah. I want to play hide and go seek with Whitney because she'd be in pink. I would be in pink too. I don't care. It's my favorite color.
she's be like Barbie detective when, when she's older.
Exactly.
Aaron, Beth, and I will find you both, just so you
I
know.
was gonna say, Yumi and I will be dressed in the appropriate color clothing and hiding behind things that actually cover our entire body.
Yeah, you'll be dressed in black with a mask and the paint on the
Absolutely.
face. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. You guys are grooving. We're grooving right along. Yumi, you've got number 7 now.
Oh, 7. Okay, this is when everyone's going to lose their minds because I'm like, I still don't know how I ended up with this in 7, but um, it's Picture Perfect Mysteries.
Go ahead.
Well, I love the opening credits. I love that Kenny's in it. Um, and I think it's the best movie for the Pena Vegas together, honestly, in terms of like how they played off of each other. And I don't know, I found it kind of charming and um, like the plot sort of goes off the rails, but I did want to see what happened next after watching that pilot. So yeah, again, I want to remind everybody I had a lot of ties in all of these. So I'm like flip a coin, like what spoke to me. So there we go. Picture
Did
Perfect
you
Mysteries.
I thought maybe you were going to say you had a lot of Mai Tais when you watched this movie.
No, sadly, I don't drink, so I was probably just eating a box of cookies, so that's probably it. I was on a sugar high.
There were three movies in this series, and the pilot is called one of my favorite titles in Hallmark. It's called Newlywed and Dead because I love true crime, and there are so many true crime stories out there that feature like bad honeymoon happenings. The Pennevegas, of course, star in this. The plot takes place in a small New England town. There's a professional wedding photographer, Allie Adams, that's Alexa, and she finds herself in the middle of a murder mystery when the groom is suddenly shot and killed during the ceremonial first dance. Ouch. Suspicion immediately turns towards Allie's big brother Greg, who happens to be the ex-boyfriend of the bride, and Allie begins her own amateur investigation to clear his name, teaming up with Sam, the newest detective on the force, and that's her husband Carlos. And this is actually directed by Ron Oliver, so you know it's got to be good, right? So there you
Ish.
have with Mai Tais or not.
And a
Mai
box
Tais
of
and
cookies.
cookies, box
Yep.
of cookies, you're good to go. It's the Pennevegas Picture Perfect Mysteries, Newlywed and Dead. I don't know, Erin Beth. You have an expression on your face, and I'm not sure what it's supposed to be saying.
My eye that's twitching. I will agree with you. As Pena Vega movies go,
Yes.
this
Yes.
probably is one of actually the three picture perfect mysteries are probably the best ones that they did. But this is not a Pena Vega draft. And as mysteries go, I don't think this deserves to be on this list. This is number 24 on my ranking. Like on the bottom. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh.
What do you think you're gonna do?
But we're only at number 7. That's why she threw it
Yes.
out here. That's why she threw it out here.
But
Oh,
Jenna, you know this as the champion 2024 for Hallmark movie drafts. You know what happens when people decide and say, this is number 7. I'll just let it slide. Becomes a bloodbath.
It becomes chaos.
Yeah. 3 picks up the list.
I I can't. I'm sorry, Yumi. I can't.
No, you're fine. That's fine. I know. I was like, that's what I said. I tried to do this blind and with just the points, and when I got it, I was like, well, that's how I voted. That's how I ranked it.
I,
And
That's all right.
I,
That's all
I
right.
yeah. I feel like maybe you just did that to get my veto out.
I swear I did not. I'm actually sticking with what I did on my list at the position. Um, I'm just everyone's gonna be so happy with me.
I'm like, should I see if Whitney's going to do it? But I'm like, she's already used one veto. She's probably not going to veto this one.
It is 27 on my list. And a
Thank you. Yeah.
28th movie cannot be on this list. I have a very specific reason why. In addition to the rest of the reasons why. Yeah, no, thank you for doing God's work over there. I'm sorry. The best of the Peta Vegas is a really low bar. And I would
Hey,
agree.
I
It
know.
definitely
I
is. It
know.
definitely is. Well
I
done to
know.
them.
all right, Yumi, what are you thinking?
Darrow and Darrow.
Darrow and Darrow, another OG. What do you like about Darrow and Darrow?
I really like Kimberly Williams Paisley in this, and I love now I've completely forgotten her name, the actress who plays her mother.
Oh,
I
Wendy
just know
Malick.
when yes, it's the fact that they don't have a warm and cozy relationship. Let's leave out the ridiculous part where the case goes to trial in about a week. So we'll ignore that. If you ignore the sort of procedural issues that go on with the case, I just think all of those relationships are really interesting. Um, and you get to see a baby Antonio Caon as Chester. So that's an added bonus.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So this is 2017. There are 5 in the series. The awesome Tom Cavanaugh is Miles Strasberg. Kimberly Williams Paisley, as you said, is Claire Darrow, and Wendy Malick is is her mother. So Claire Darrow is a single mom and a lawyer who always wants to do right. And when a close friend is convicted of stealing from an expensive jewelry store, it's up to Claire to find justice. Babyface Antonio as Chester is a delight, absolute delight. And Tom Cavanaugh was actually pretty hot. He does a really good job too. It's a great cast. Aaron Beth, you still have a veto left. Are you happy with Darrow and Darrow at number seven?
I won't use my veto on this, but it is way too low. Seven is entirely too low for this. I call this is what I call it's an adult mystery. Like they act like adults. They are adults in it. There's not a bunch of silly little funny things, which I like in other mysteries. But in this one, I love the characters together. They have fantastic chemistry. Jump forward to what ended up being the last movie, and it just their characters are fantastic, and I just love it. I love it being on the list. I hate that it is so gosh darn low, but I'm not going to veto it.
Can stay at number seven, according to Aaron Beth.
Mhm.
What about you, Whitney? This is the one series that I thought actually, has some lawyers. I think Yumi has done her best to try to preempt a veto by saying, just suspend your disbelief that the trial is in a week.
And I'm completely good with that because I watch all the lawyer shows where that happens. This went between, like, I would say number seven on my list and not being on my list. And what I really came down to, I love the relationships and I love the different style of lawyering. The mom is a national delight. Like everything she's in, I love. I can't remember her name. Lynn, you said it and it popped out of my head again. But they are just, I love the dynamic of the law firm, especially with Antonio. Oh my God, he's adorable in this, and the asking out the girl, the asking for the pen. Oh, that was just so fun. I wish Walford and Dynamics were like that every day, but I love it. I just came down to that there was really no mystery. They were figuring out a case, but it didn't really fit with my mystery. So it got pushed a little lower because when I had to make the cuts, I'm like, I have three now at number 10. Oh, wait, now I have four at number 10. It's like I had to make a cut somewhere, and that's where it went lower on my list. But do not hate this. Like it really. Love the double female characters. I think is wonderful. And I'm gonna leave it.
Okay, so Darrow and Darrow is locked in at number seven. Wendy Malick. Wendy Malick plays the mom. Jenna, do you like Darrow and Darrow? Is this one of your favorites or no?
It's one that I can do every so often. I don't watch it as often as the other ones, but I love Tom Cavanaugh. I forget the show from the 2000s that he was in that I used to love him on, and then he was on Flash, and he was so good in that. I agree with Whitney. It was more of a case than like an actual mystery. So it's kind of like a hard line sometimes with those.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron Beth, we're at number six. We are flying through this list. We have at 10, Garage Sale Mysteries, at nine, Gourmet Detective, at eight, Jane Doe, at seven, Darrow and Darrow, and at six, what are you going to throw down?
I would like Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries, the original.
Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries. There are 19 whopping movies in that OG series. The pilot was called A Bone to Pick. It was from 2015. You've got CCB, Candace Cameron Bure as Aurora, Mary Lou Henner is her mom. Peter Benson is in this. So I think we all know that she's a librarian with a sharp mind for murder. She's known around her small town as a master sleuth, and when her friend Jane unexpectedly dies and leaves Aurora everything in her will, she also leaves a troubling murder mystery haunting her neighborhood. It's up to Aurora to piece together the clues, including a skull, its missing skeleton, and a suspicious group of neighbors, and she has to solve the murder before she becomes the unlikely killer's next victim. Tell us everything you loved about this movie.
Okay, this is going to be my push to tell people to pick up a book because I know this series may not be popular for some, not because of the movie series itself, but because of the person that stars in it. But I love this book series. And as a pilot, A Bone to Pick actually did a fairly decent job of sticking with the book. It is not the first book in the Aurora Tea Garden mysteries. It's actually the second, but it really did well. It didn't stick to it completely. There was some hallmarking of it, but the Aurora Tea Garden series, come on, there were 19 of them. It was a big series. I think it would be a tragedy for it not to be on this list. It really, well, I think it was the series that really brought people back to the mysteries on the Hallmark Channel, and it was fun. It was a fun series.
I can't believe you played the T word, tragedy. That's like pulling at heartstrings.
Look at
Oh,
Yumi was crying.
she was crying. I know.
She was crying.
She was
It
crying.
was
She's got her chimes going in the background so that,
Yes,
trying to
yes, I
comfort,
do.
she's trying to
I do.
self-comfort herself. Unfortunately, she has to wait because Whitney, you are first up in the veto rotation. Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries, A Bone to Pick. How are you feeling
Not
about this?
Yeah, I'm not gonna veto this. I do love this series. I did watch this series at a time where I didn't know things about the lead that now I know, but I suspended disbelief, as Yubi has said. I I just watched Aurora the character, and I do absolutely love this series. I think it's fun. I think the interplay between her and the mom is just special. It's just a fun series. Exactly what you said is what really got me into these mystery series. Loved Full House as a kid. So I honestly had no clue about the underlying um things, but like, you know, she hasn't gone to jail. So there's that. Really selling
That's
this hard, but no, I think it's delightful. I've never read the book series, but I'm glad to hear that it was good. Usually, if I read the books first, I hate whatever adaptation is made of it. It's not on my list. It's number 16, so it was almost there. But yeah, this is a series that I'll definitely watch if it's on TV.
so listeners, I love that the players are giving you context here. You've got, it's great as far as Penavega movies go. This is a good movie. Aurora Tea Garden, at least Candace Cameron Bure is not going to jail. So it's like, take the wins when you can. Yumi, it's really up to you. What are you thinking?
This is real. It was so hard because I've watched all of them, right? Because much like Erin Beth, I watched Murder She Wrote as a kid, right? These sorts of things just are the thing that I will sit down and watch over and over again because it's really comforting and it doesn't matter if I can figure out the mystery. I mean, honestly, to me, I appreciate that we want a good mystery, but it literally doesn't matter to me. This is the thing I enjoy the most when I watch TV. Um, I will say, watching it again, and this is not just in the series. There's this constant theme of the mother constantly criticizing the daughter about, is that how you're going to wear how your hair is? Like, is that what you're wearing to that date? Like, why can't you get a man? Why can't you get married? And that gets a little old because, again, watching them in succession, all of a sudden you realize that's a trope I don't really appreciate in these. However, I do agree with Aaron Beth and Whitney. Like, well, to Aaron Beth's point, there's 19 of them. It would be odd to not have it on this list of the top 10. Even if I didn't have it at 10, I think it's at 12 for me. And that's just because of the pilot, not because of my overall enjoyment of watching the series. So I think it should stay.
Why are you wearing your hair that way, Yumi?
Well, I was on an airplane.
You're such a good sport. I love you. Yeah. Okay. Jenna, Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries, A Bone to Pick. The pilot is staying at number 6. What are your thoughts about that series?
Okay, I like the series, but again, I go back to I'm basing this off the first one. Just because it has 19 things of it, just because all those other factors that everyone listed doesn't mean to me that I need to have it on my list for those other factors when I didn't like the mystery as much as I like the mysteries in other ones. So
Ah,
that's kind of where I'm at. So it's not on my list.
it's not on your list.
It's down below 15. It wasn't even a flip the phone situation to get on the list. So
No
yeah.
phone flipping needed. All right, moving on. Whitney, number five. I see you're looking very intently. What are you thinking that you're going to play?
Well, I think I'm going to play my true number five because that's the number I got, and I'm going to play it. But there are some ones below this that I really feel should be on the list that I fear aren't going to be. But I'm going to go with my list, and I'm going to play Mystery 101. Um, I love this movie. I love Chris Balaha. He's so great. I love Wagner. I love that she's a professor, that we're playing off of the How to Get Away with Murder with her class. I love that she's mentoring students and the actual interplay between the college kids being involved. It's not just like, oh, she's a professor, but she's really off fighting crime. It all works together. There's a point in the movie where I said, oh, it's so a shame that they're not in danger because I love that aspect of these, like the trope of where the actual people are in danger. And then no, lo and behold, they were in danger. I was like, oh, that's a plus. So I think it needs to be on this list. Honestly, I wrestled with putting this higher, but I mean, I just love this movie. I love the series.
This is a great series. It's one that, we're all in different chats and all over the interwebs. And I know that you guys have seen this too. People are always like, when are they going to bring this back? When are they going to bring this back? And I think Chris Plaha just did a live on Instagram, was it, or Facebook, one of the socials with Jill Wagner a couple of weeks ago. I didn't have a chance to watch it. Did anybody here catch it?
I
Do you know?
did.
So what they
Yeah.
talk about? Did this come up? Or...
Yeah, it did, and the people want more. They both admitted, they both talked about it, that it was a great series. They really enjoyed working together. They enjoyed like the fandom around it because it was popular, and that they had no control over whether it comes back. But the fact that it ended on a cliffhanger, that they both get asked about it very often, it was great. And they were just talking about different projects that they work on since and how the series came to be. It was really interesting. Chris Balaha was doing like the fandom February, so this was part of that. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I'm bummed I missed it. Yeah, I love this series as well. The pilot is just called Mystery 101. It's from 2019. Jill Wagner's character, Amy, teaches mystery fiction at a college, but now real crime and real mysteries are erupting all around her. So Detective Travis Burke, that's Chris, is a local police detective and he's investigating, but she is determined to help. And her keen powers of observation and rapid deductive abilities may prove valuable if Travis is only willing to admit it. They've got such great chemistry. Erin Beth, I know you like Chris Palaha a lot, but did you love this
Oh,
enough
I
to keep it
did.
at number five?
Yeah, no, it's good for me at five. It was good. This was one that I struggled with where to put it. I had less trouble with the bottom five than I did with the top five because it's like, which should be number one? What should be number two? So I'm good with Mystery One and One. That they are a great pair. They work well together. The mystery was good. I liked that there wasn't animosity. As much as I do love Gourmet Detective, the difference between the two of the animosity between Dylan and Brooke in Gourmet Detective versus Jill Wagner and Chris Palaha in Mystery 101, where there wasn't this animosity between them. It went away really fast. He recognized she knew what she was doing, pretty quickly, and then it just got to the mystery. Mystery 101, good for me at five.
Good for you at five. Yumi, is Mystery 101 good for you at five?
I have it up a little higher, but I want it on the list, so I'm gonna leave it here. Just a small note of trivia. So they filmed a lot of those Mystery 101s in a town called Squamish up in British Columbia. I happen to go to Squamish quite a bit. So it's like, oh, I know where they filmed for the university. I know when they're walking through town. Oh, Aurora Tea Gardens also filmed there a bit as well. And then there's a couple scenes and a few episodes later in Mystery 101 where it's like the hotel I stay at. It's like they use the lobby for a convention center. So it's like, hooray. Anyway, I really enjoy this
Fun.
series. So yeah, it
That
is
is
kind of
so
fun.
cool. That is
Yeah,
so cool. I
it's
love
kind of fun.
that. I
So
love that.
I would like it higher, but I'll leave it here.
Yumi's going to leave it here. So Yumi has two vetoes. Erin Beth has one veto, and Whitney has one veto. Erin Beth, while you're thinking about what you want to play for number four, which is your next to last pick, Jenna, what do you think of Mystery 101?
I really like it. It's one of my favorites. It's in my top five. I just like the interaction, the chemistry between Jill and Chris is always really good, and it starts off good in the first one. It's very few of these. Like that was one of my things with was chemistry between the two in the first movie, and it's really good, and it just gets better. The further you go along.
Absolutely. All right, Erin Beth. I can see the steam coming out of your head there.
Is.
Decisions, decisions. Number four.
My number
Hmm.
four already is on the list. I am going to go with Emma Fielding Mysteries.
So only three mysteries in that series. The pilot is called Sight Unseen. It's from 2017. Courtney Thorne Smith is Emma Fielding. James Tupper is Special Agent Jim Connor. Emma Fielding, she's brilliant, dedicated, and driven. She's an archaeologist who's trying to unearth evidence of a 17th century coastal Maine settlement that predates Jamestown, one of the most significant archaeological find in years. But the dead body that accompanies it has embroiled Emma and her students in a different kind of exploration. Courtney Thorne Smith, I have to say it, I think she is just one of the most beautiful women on the planet. 90s love here. She was in Melrose Place, Ally McBeal, right? You guys, in one, I'm a Lifetime movies fan. She also plays the mom in one of the craziest Lifetime movies called Sorority Wars. Amanda Shull, another Hall star, is in that movie as well. It's two feuding sorority houses. You've got to check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's not like gory, it's just crazy. I'm excited to have someone talk about Emma Fielding and Courtney Thorne Smith.
So, when I was little, I would go out in the backyard and pretend to be an archaeologist. And I'll tell you, it looked a lot like what their little dig they had here. So we are suspending the belief that this is what that would actually look
Yeah.
like. So, you put that with Courtney Thorne Smith, and it was fun. And the part-time bad guy, Benjamin Ayres, um, that's in this also. It was fun to watch. There was danger, people were chasing her. Um, I cannot think of his name, but Henry Gowan from When Calls the Heart, getting beat down at the end was kind of fun. Like
Martin Cummins, right?
yes,
Martin
Yes.
that's it,
Cummins.
Martin
Yeah.
Hemmings. It was good. It was a solvable mystery, but it was hard for me rewatching some of these and trying to remember back if I remembered if I how quickly I solved it the first time. As a pilot, I thought that it was very strong out of the box, and I just really liked it. It was very pretty too, like very bright and pretty.
It's a perky mystery, considering that you're digging in dirt a lot. So, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like Hallmark connections woven through this one, as you just mentioned. You've got Martin Cummins, you've got Ben Ayres. So it's a fun series to watch. If you haven't seen it before, you should definitely check it out, listeners. Whitney, I don't want to interrupt your deep thinking here because I can see you're
Yeah.
scratching your
Well,
head and you're like, hmm,
hmm.
hmm.
This is number three on my should not be on the list movie. I just thought it couldn't be more boring. I agree with you. She's beautiful. Could not get me past the boring nature. I love your childhood story. I don't have a childhood story like that. I did not go in the backyard and pretend I was an archaeologist, and I love that for you. I'm just struggling because I believe if I veto this, you could play this at number two, and I don't like that. And yeah, there is a movie above this that like I don't think should be on this list, and I think that there's four movies above this on my list that are like non-negotiable that should be on the list. And I have at least one below this that I think I would be shocked if didn't make it. But I'm going to
I
not
would
use my
tell,
veto.
oh, I was gonna say I would tell you I wouldn't play it too, but
Ooh, I don't
I
but
I
I'm
will
not.
I would guarantee you I would not play it at 2. It's not a 2 movie.
It is not a two movie. I agree with you, but I'm not going to use my veto, and I'm going to see what Yumi thinks. And if it's at 4, then that's on you, and that's all I have to
I'm
say.
happy with it at 4. I'm not embarrassed with it
Good,
at 4.
good, good for you.
You can see, you can hear listeners that Whitney is no doubt a very good lawyer because she just said it all. So Yumi, she's like, yeah, it's on you too, Yumi, if you don't veto this, is basically what she says.
Yeah, it's yeah, I have some other movies that I think should be on this list, and this one was really close, Erin Beth. It was really, really close, but I just I'm gonna veto it.
You.
Yumi's gonna
Well
use.
done.
I'm gonna veto it. What good is having a veto or an extra one if you don't use it, right?
It's true. You cannot redeem
Oh,
them for anything.
I would say the other Hall Star or Hallmark movie connection is, did you notice that the young woman who plays her star pupil is now the sister in the new incarnation of the Hannah Swenson
She plays Michelle.
movies? Yeah. She's the younger sister
She's
that
the younger
shows
sister.
up when, right? The brunette that shows up
When
Ah,
as
Andrea
Hannah's
leaves,
sister.
Michelle comes in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
She's
Okay.
dating
that's her.
Lonnie.
Did not even notice that. Good catch. All right.
Oh,
You would be a good detective too. So maybe I won't wear pink when I'm
don't.
trying to
Oh,
like.
Erin Beth and I'm telling you, we will find you both.
Oh my gosh. Well, Erin Beth, now you have to find a movie to replace Emma Fielding with. But at least you got a chance to talk about it and share your childhood story, which was very touching, but did not
Ugh.
move any of us, I don't think.
It's hard because I think the ones that are above that, I think surely we're going to play that like 1, 2, 3, and I don't want to play it down low.
You're
But
I wouldn't be too
okay,
sure of anything at this
do you
point.
flip your now? Do you flip your phone onto something soft,
Yes, on my couch.
and
So
the screen
the
is
screen is
heads?
heads, and then this is tails.
Okay. Okay. Heads is up, tails is down. All
Amateurs,
right.
Jenna, amateurs.
All right. I'm going to go with Mystery Island.
Mystery Island, the newest movie that was able to make it into the make it onto the eligibility list. What do you like about it, Aaron Beth, for number 4?
This was actually my number 2 movie in the 2023 draft for the non-Christmas movies. I really liked it. I thought it was a good mystery. It was fun to watch. I would love to go on mystery. Come on. I mean, we should all just go as a group and go to a Mystery Island weekend. Like that alone just sounds like the most fun thing. And, you know, the secret passages and the red herrings, it was just a lot of fun to watch. I think it was done very well. It was it was a it was better than I would have expected from Hallmark when it comes to this kind of movie. So that's why I would like it at number 4.
All right. Well, Elizabeth Henstridge is Amelia. Charlie Weber, who is not Stephen Weber, the actor that we all could not name in Savoring Terrace. No relation. This is Charlie Weber.
That was
He
Stanley Weber.
was it Stanley. See, I still don't know his name.
yeah. Steven Weber is in Wings, wasn't he?
Wings. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking that was Stephen Weber. Lynn can tell me anything, and I'm like, oh, okay, Stephen Weber.
Charlie was on the Shonda Rhimes show on Thursday nights. How to Get Away with
How to
Murder.
How to Get Away
Yeah.
with Murder. You know, Stanley, Stephen, I've heard it both ways, people. The point is that it's not him. This is Charlie. This is Charlie Weber. Okay. So the pilot is just called Mystery Island. It was in 2023, as we've talked about. So you've got a London police psychiatrist, Dr. Amelia Priestley. She needs some R&R. She's been working really hard. So she heads off with her friend, the Baroness Jane Alcott, who is Keitsia Burrows, to Mystery Island, which is an immersive murder mystery themed resort. and the resort's original investors are there. As the mystery game begins, the resort's reclusive founder is murdered. So everybody's stuck on the island, and the local detective, comes on over. That's Jason Trent, Charlie Weber, to investigate the case. So the lines between gameplay and reality are blurred, just like they are here on Hallmark Movie Drafts. The movie was filmed at Villa Bonita Mansion in Panama. And what I found interesting about this movie, listeners, is the viewer reviews on IMDb, because they are all over the place. People either love this movie or totally trashed this movie. One person referred to it as a bargain basement Knives Out. That just like killed me. Charlie Weber played Aaron Cahill's dead husband in Christmas Bedtime Stories from 2022. And we last saw Elizabeth Hendricks in 2019's Christmas at the Plaza with Ryan Pavey. So, Aaron Beth, good job playing this one at number 4. But will it stay there, Whitney? Because you've got some definitive movies that you want on your list. You've got your Hell No movies as well. Where does Mystery Island fall in?
This was the first time I watched it, and my biggest regret is that my best friend Jill Carey, we've been best friends since we were 9. This reminded me of Clue, and that was our favorite game to play growing up. In fact, we were so competitive with Clue. Sometimes our mother would get so mad at us, she'd ban us from playing Clue. No Clue this weekend because you girls were so bad to each other. And we love these types of things. I would love to go to a Mystery Island. All of us should go together. I love the hijinks. I love the sneaking around. Someone's wearing a mask, the secret passageways, the clues. So much fun. I want to be there. So excited for the second one. I'm so excited I watched this. I don't know how I missed it the first time, but I think I'm going to have my best friend Jill carry over and we're going to watch it together and maybe see if her mom will play Clue with us. Maybe. Maybe we've grown up enough that we can all play it together nicely and follow the rules. So I love it. Great choice. This is definitely one of the ones that I was like, this has to be on there. Thank you, Erin Beth.
Aaron Beth, you did a good job. But there's still Yumi, who still has a veto. What do you think?
Oh no, I like this. I like this movie a lot. I like this movie a lot. I like that they took I mean, I feel like they really took a risk in doing this, right? Leave the bargain basement Knives Out criticism aside. This is not your normal Hallmark mystery, and I'm glad they're hopefully making more than just 2 of them. Like it'd be nice to see some more. Um, so I think we should go 2026. What do you think? Everybody on board, Mystery Island?
The only thing is,
Absolutely.
I would like to know, are all Mystery Islands like, because he made a comment at one point, $10,000 a night.
Yeah,
So
maybe we could come up with our own. We could like plan our own.
is there a listener that owns a Mystery Island that would like to bring us on to record Hallmark Movie Drafts live?
Well,
That's a
I,
great idea. That's
There
a great
was
idea.
there was a Prime Video series called Beast Challenge or something, and someone won an island. I wonder if she would just be willing to have us on. Like, can we use your island for this weekend? We'll give you some money, but it was free for her. I'll have to look up her info.
Because I'm afraid
Perfect.
what it's going to be is Bramblefest and a game of Clue. That's what we can afford.
I actually have a good friend who I used to work with and for who does own an island. It's off the coast of Connecticut. It's called Dumpling Island. It's got a lighthouse on it. It's very
Oh,
small, but it's off the coast of Connecticut. So I don't know. I'll ask him. Let's see if we can make this happen. But to your point, we do
Named
have we
after
have
me. They no
exactly.
longer own it. They sold it. It was in Canada. You couldn't, there's no structure on it. There's a tree, but so I wouldn't suggest we play there.
Oh, too bad. We have listeners in 42 countries every single month, and there are listeners in Panama. So maybe one of those
oh,
people might be able to pull some
oh.
strings. You never know. So we'll see. All right. So Mystery Island is locked in at number 4. Yumi, while you're thinking of your final pick of the match at number 3, Jenna, what do you think of Mystery Island? You've got to love it.
I loved it. It's my number 11. I love Knives Out. And so I'll take a garden basement knives out any way I can get it. Like everything Whitney said, I like the secret passages and just like the little mysteries here and there. And um, it was definitely like kept you on your toes for a majority of it. And I like the two leads together.
Okay, Yumi, your final pick. It's here. Number three. Hmm.
I don't know if this is going to be controversial or not, but it's The Curious Caterer.
Oh, Curious Caterer. Yeah,
Yeah. My
there's.
secret way of getting Antonio Caon on this list more than once. No, I'm kidding. Um, I think I really, yeah, I enjoyed it because uh, Andrew Walker and Nikki DeLoach are just really great together. They actually talk like adults to each other. There's adult situations, there's, divorce, there's relationships that she has to continue with her ex-husband, their daughter. I don't know. I just really appreciated having it be more um, seemed a bit more realistic. Maybe the mystery not so much, but the relationships were realistic to a certain extent. So I just enjoy it.
How can you go wrong with two of the most beloved Hall stars? You know, Andrew Walker, Nikki DeLoach. What a pairing, right? Their pilot is from 2022, believe it or not. There's already five that are in the series. The pilot is called Dying for Chocolate. And so Nikki DeLoach is Goldie Berry, a Colorado caterer and a single mom, and she teams up with Detective Tom Schultz, that's Andrew Walker, to identify ingredients that led to a mysterious death of her friend and finding that everyone in Elk Park, town that she lives in, hides a secret. This was actually ranked number 7 in the best Andrew Walker draft, the very first HMD show back in September 2022. Aaron, Beth, you are first up in the veto order. You still have one veto. Curious Cater, Dying for Chocolate.
I do.
Hmm.
As I'm sitting here debating whether I'm going to veto this, I hear Lynn say, two of our most beloved Hallmark actors. I'm like, how much trouble am I going to be in? I just don't think it's a number 3 mystery series. I don't. And I don't think it's a number 3 mystery pilot. I think that there are definitely ones better. I would have been okay with it further down, but as number 3,
You can
I'm
do
going to
it, Aaron
veto it.
Beth. There you go.
I'm going to
That's the
veto it.
way to do. That's the way you play the game, people. Use your vetoes. Aaron Beth is now officially out of vetoes at number 3. Yumi, can you believe that she actually vetoed a movie with the two most beloved Hall stars?
Well,
I can't believe I did it either.
yeah,
I can't.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to go back to digging in your backyard.
we shall see. Um, well, then I'm gonna play The Cases of Mystery Lane.
The Cases of Mystery Lane, 2023. That is the name of the pilot. There's only 2 so far in the series. You've got Amy Garcia, who's fabulous. She's Birdie Case. Paul Campbell's her husband, Alden. Birdie is a successful attorney, but her husband Alden's indecisiveness about his career is causing tension in their marriage. And when he secretly takes classes to become a private investigator and gets involved in a murder case, he's got to come clean to Birdie to unravel the mystery. However, he begins to suspect that Birdie may be hiding her own secrets. Why do you like this one? Especially at number 3.
It's just very funny, right? Like, I appreciate the humor, um, and not slapsticky. I thought this was a really good use of Paul Campbell's talents as an actor. And I thought Amy Garcia played really well off of him. It's hard when they set it in a law firm. Things aren't realistic necessarily, but I just enjoyed it. And I think I enjoyed the dialogue and how they moved it along more than I thought like the plot was realistic. But I thought it was a really big step forward, a bit like Mystery Island, like a step forward in terms of what Hallmark thinks of how they can set mysteries, right? So something slightly different, a little bit more entertaining. Yeah, I just found it really enjoyable at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's quirky, good fun, really different vibe for their mystery movies, as you said. Hmm. Aaron, Beth, you no longer have any vetoes, but I still want to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this movie?
Before my rewatch of it, I probably would have said, yeah, that's a number three movie. I'd like it better than Curious Caterer. The dynamic of them lying so much to each other, and still at the end there being a lie hanging out there of her gambling, and we're not going to tell any more lies, but we all know there's still this lie hanging out there. I, that it just it rubbed me the wrong way in the flow of the story on the second watch that it didn't on the first watch. Paul Campbell, on the other hand, is so funny in this movie. It was, I think, wheelhouse of the type of movie that he's really good at. I think that it's better than Curious Caterer for number three, yes.
Okay, so Aaron Beth says, yeah, she liked it. She couldn't veto it anyway, even if she wanted to. Whitney, it's really up to you. You still have one veto left. What do you think of the cases of Mystery Lane?
Absolutely love it. It was my number four, but love it at number three. Love the fun, the hijinks, that them working together and kind of like working through their marriage in that way was fun and great. And to Aaron's best point is I think there might have been a little portion cut about the with the poker book because the poker book was with the divorce papers. So to me, it was there was maybe something cut of that, but he clearly realized she was playing poker. So I was okay with it. The lies did bother me in the beginning, and I loved it juxtaposed with the truth that the murdered partner and his wife had, that she knew exactly who he was. She knew about his relationship with the other associate. And I love that. And I felt that they learned from that as a younger couple. And that was refreshing, although I just hope people don't need to be in marriages that aren't, real, but that's okay. Different things work for different people. And I love the truth of that versus their marriage. But I also love that then she gave them the money to further his detective work. And there's another movie coming on. The second one is coming soon. So I'm excited to see that. I think it's going to be even more fun because I think Hallmark's really going to lean into that. Perfect movie for Paul Campbell. Love the interlay between them. Love the kind of like thinking maybe the associate did it. And she was like a little scared and like, I have some bad news. And then he's like, they forgot your chicken satay or whatever. And it was like, oh, okay, she's not in danger. And then you realize he's in danger. So it just had all the elements for me.
I was gonna say that assistant, Jesse Moss, the actor Jesse Moss, I went back and counted. He's in nine mysteries. Not that we watched all of the ones he's in, but of all the mysteries that they have done that have had continued, he's in nine of them as secondary characters.
Yes, he's in a lot.
It's like you could do the little red lines. I mean, personally, I think he is the murderer in all of these ones. But it's when you watch them back to back, you're like, didn't I just see him in a movie?
Then he lives in Canada.
So, so shout out to Jesse Moss. I think he does a great job.
He's the Kenny of the mystery
He is.
movies. Yeah,
Well, and that
that's
would make a great mystery of somebody looking back at all these different things and going, wait a minute. He's a serial killer.
He changes identities.
Yeah, careers, towns, all the
He
things.
moves from place to place.
exactly.
I love it.
Love
I love
it.
it.
I love it. Somebody needs to write that script. Let's get on it. Alicia, if you're listening, get on that. So we've got the Cases of Mystery Lane locked in at number three. Yumi, that was your pick. So now, Aaron Beth, it is over to you for your final pick at number two.
This is an easy one for me. It's Mystery Woman.
Good choice. So, wow, there's 11 in that series. The pilot, as we talked about at the top of the show, is from 2023. Kelly Martin is in this as Samantha Kinsey. You've got William R. Moses in this. Robert Wagner is in this pilot. Joan Severance is in this. J.E. Freeman plays the Philby character when Hallmark brings it back in 2005. Philby is played by Clarence Williams the third. So why do you like this movie at number two? Such a legacy series.
So I thought I hadn't seen it. I thought I must have never seen this one, but as it played, like when it started, even in Spanish, I was like, oh no, I've seen this one. First of all, Mystery Woman is a cornerstone of the mysteries for Hallmark. Kelly Martin, to me, this is a better character for her than the Haley Dean mysteries. This seemed more natural to her, and maybe it's just more natural in the way that we know her as a in other characters. The mystery was really, really good. It was a locked door mystery, and don't we all love, those the locked door mysteries are fantastic. Um, and like you said, it had an all-star cast. Like the cast was great. I had forgotten that Constance Zimmer was the best friend because they changed the best friend after the pilot. It was good to see her because she's been in a lot of things that I like. So yes, that is Mystery Woman for me.
Plus, in terms of the trope of congratulations, you've inherited XYZ. I think inheriting a bookstore, especially a crime specialty bookstore, would be the best thing ever. I would totally love that. Absolutely. Okay, so Mystery Woman at number two is Erin Beth's choice. Whitney, you do still have a veto. What do you think?
I think I thought I had seen some of this series, but not this episode. But like Arabeth, I think it just came back to me that I had definitely seen it before in English. I had it at number 9, probably mainly because of the subtitles. And it's filmed a little darker than some of the newer movies. I mean, the coloring of it all, but really liked it. Like, love the locked door, love the sub magnet that they use and how she put all those things together. Love the danger aspect of her putting it together, putting herself in danger. I feel like that era's trope. And obviously then she was rescued because we wouldn't have as many as we do. So great. I wouldn't have it at 2, but my number 2 has been taken, so I'm happy with this.
You're gonna leave it? All right.
Yeah.
Way to go. Beautifully said. Yumi, you still have a veto. What are you thinking?
I do, but I'm not going to use it because I totally agree with Erin Beth. This is much better for her than Haley Dean. She acts better in this, right? It's a much better fit for her, and so she comes across as a better actress, and it just seems more cohesive for her, and that really helps the story. Um, so yeah, I'm good with it here.
You
I
good with
enjoyed it.
it?
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to have, it would be easier probably to watch it again, like without the subtitles and um, the coloring, but I was glad to watch it again.
Yeah, but really, just shout out to Alicia for finding it on
I
YouTube
know.
and
Yes.
in Spanish. Aaron Beth with your Russian version. I mean, this was not easy to find, folks. So again, you can watch it for free without a YouTube subscription, at least until they catch it. So enjoy it, because that is the true pilot. All right, Whitney, I'm going to give a state of the list update, and then we're going to hear what you're going to play at number one, and we'll see how it goes for you. So at 10, we have Garage Sale Mysteries. At 9, Gourmet Detective. At 8, Jane Doe. At 7, Darrow and Darrow. At 6, Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries, A Bone to Pick. At 5, Mystery 101. At 4, Mystery Island. At 3, The Cases of Mystery Lane. At 2, Mystery Woman. And at number one, Whitney is going to offer up what?
Curious Caterer. Sorry, Erin Beth. I think that this definitely deserves it vacillated between 1, 2, and 3 on my list, and I settled on 1, and now here I am with the 1 spot. I think that this is adorable. I mean, you have no, not 2 national treasures, 3. You have Andrew Walker, you have Nikki DeLoach, and you have Antonio Cajon, and he's on a date with Nikki. I mean, just stop there. But then you get more. You get the actual mystery where there's real red herrings, real detective work that Nikki's doing as equally as Andrew. And unlike why I vetoed Gourmet Detective and was obviously overruled on that by Yumi, the banter between them is adorable and it's so cute and it's clear they have respect for each other. You can tell they're friends in real life. It only gets better from here. You can tell they're allowed by Hallmark to do more because of who they are. And this is the perfect kickoff to the series. It just gets more exciting. They try new things, and I absolutely love it. I even love the banter between Andrew Walker and his like, lower detective Mason. I just think all around it has everything that you want and a cozy mystery that you're gonna watch. It's perfect to me. Sorry.
Did not see that coming, Aaron Beth. You
Neither
don't
did
have
I.
a veto, but would you like a rebuttal before I get to Yumi?
This this is why you play with love. Because I only vetoed it at 3 because it wasn't on my list. And I was like, if I veto it and it's on my list, maybe she'll play something that is on my list. And now it's at 1. This is why you
Oh
My
don't do
no.
game. This is you play with love and you don't try gameplay. I'm just not cut out for it.
Oh no.
Yumi, you have the
Be late
final
on your list.
say.
I
What are you
had
gonna
it
do?
at 3, but it was like, is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it 3 because you know, anyway, I'm sorry, Erin Beth. I really enjoy this one. I really enjoy it. And I don't
There
know
are
if it's
only a couple I don't enjoy.
right.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, you just don't think it's
I just don't think
the
it's top
best
3.
one. Right, right.
Ah,
And it might be a recency bias, but I like some of the old ones too. I agree with Whitney. I just really enjoy this movie quite a
so
bit.
it's staying. That's the number one.
It's staying. Yeah, it's staying.
You guys, you did it. Great job. So, Jenna, before we get to hearing their personal picks and seeing how they did in the match, you and I have a side hustle where we exchanged our own personal top 10 lists. What was on your list, starting at number 10 and going to number one, and how did you do?
Okay. Before the scores, as these lists were coming into me before the draft, I was just curious. So I put some numbers together because I'm a numbery person. And of all 28 movies, there were movies that none of us put in our draft. Those were The Jane Mysteries, The Matchmaker, Morning Show, Murder 101. The rest of them, all of us touched in some way. There was one movie that all 5 of us had on our draft, which was Mystery 101. And then there are 2 movies that 4 of us had on our drafts, and that would be Crossword Mysteries and Curious Caterer.
You
So
guys had really different lists, which was really
yeah,
interesting.
so
All right.
it was fun. Okay, so for myself, and again, it was just so hard. I had like a top 17 and then a 10 and phone flipping. So number 10, Ruby Herring Mysteries, Silent Witness. Number 9, Jane Doe Vanishing Act. Number 8, Haley Dean Mysteries, Murder with Love. Number 7, The Young Aurora Teagarden Mysteries, Something New. Number 6, Murder She Baked, a Chocolate Chip Cookie Mystery. Number 5, Mystery 101. Number 4, Mum's the Word, a Flower Shop Mystery. Number 3, Curious Caterer, Dying for Chocolate. Number 2, Crossword Mysteries, A Puzzle to Die For. And number 1, Chronicle Mysteries, Recovered.
Is there one that you want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to speak on?
I just had a lot not make the list. So that's
Too many to mention. I like your list. That is a
too
great
many to count.
list. Okay, so how many points did you get?
So I had 4 points. I had 3 movies in and 1 in the same position as the draft.
Awesome. All right, here's my list. Number 10, I have Mystery Woman at 9. I have McBride, A Murder Past Midnight at 8. A Beautiful Place to Die, a Martha's Vineyard mystery. I know you guys are just like cringing already. Basically had almost all the movies that no one else ever had. At 7, Curious Caterer, Dying for Chocolate. At 6, Aurora Tea Garden mystery, A Bone to Pick. At 5, Flower Shop mystery, Mum's the Word. At 4, Darrow and Darrow. At 3, Mystery 101. At 2, Crossword Mysteries. And at number 1, I had Jesse Stone, Stone Cold. And what I want to say about my number one mystery. Okay, Yumi, I've got to hear what your reaction is after I talk about this. So you're dying.
Nope, I
Jesse,
just want to hear your rationale. I would like to hear your rationale.
okay. All right. So Jesse Stone, Stone Cold. This is Tom Selleck. It's got Academy Award winner Viola Davis is in this. This is no slouch of a series. There are nine of them. It originally aired on CBS and then aired on Hallmark as a series, and it got really good numbers. So it takes place in a small coastal town of Paradise, Massachusetts. Tom Selleck's the chief of police. He investigates murders. It's very atmospheric. There's a great dog in this movie. Come on, the dog is amazing in this. I believe it's a golden retriever. It's based on the books by Robert B. Parker's novels. So I loved it. You should check it out. Okay, Yumi. How'd I do? Did I convince you? No?
I I don't know. I just couldn't get over a lot of things watching it.
I know, but isn't that half the fun, half
Yeah,
the
well, I
problem?
mean, right? So like, yeah, I mean, I put picture perfect mysteries on, right? So it's like I was in a different space about what was on my rewatch was hitting me in a good way, in a positive way, right? So I think it's just really interesting to hear because this is when people's individuality shines, right? It's like there's clearly some series that are qualitatively really good, the writing's really good, the acting's really good. So I think we can sort of agree on that. And then after that, you're like, is this to my personal taste right now? Because maybe it was back then, but maybe it's not now. And so I think
Yeah.
that's just I find that really interesting when I hear who likes
Well,
what.
how'd I do, Jenna? How low is my number?
Well, you got 5 points, and you did have one in position that was chosen, and I had 2 points with only one that was in position. So
That's
go
all
me.
right. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so let's do everybody's personal ranked list. So we will do it in the veto order. So Aaron's best. What was your top 10 list?
Okay, number 10 was Crossword Mysteries, A Puzzle to Die For. Number 9, Gourmet Detective. Number 8, Garage Sale Mystery. Number 7, Chronicle Mysteries Recovered. Number 6, A Bone to Pick, an Aurora Tea Garden Mystery. Number 5, Sight Unseen, an Emma Fielding Mystery. Number 4, Mystery 101. Number 3, Mystery Island. And number 2, Mystery Woman. Number 1 was Darrow and Darrow.
Is there a movie that you
Um,
want to talk about? No.
the Chronicle Mysteries. I was debating between Emma Fielding and Chronicle Mysteries. I love Allison Sweeney. I've already given her all the love on the Allison Sweeney draft. I think she's fantastic. I think of the two mystery series, Chronicle Mysteries is the one that I'd love to see more episodes um, from. It was good. And I said it in the Allison draft. At least she is someone that actually should be investigating something. Whereas generally we get in these cases where we have bakers and librarians out there being in dangerous areas. So I do love the Chronicle Mysteries. I'm sad it's not on the list, but I think we did make a pretty good list between all of us.
I like your list. So way to go. Okay. Whitney, what was your top 10 list?
Right. My top 10 was Jesse Stone. I agree with you. Love that. I think I've watched them before, but I don't know if I'd ever watched the pilot. So loved it. Loved the detective work and loved the multiple stories, the A and B stories. Mystery Woman was number 9. 8 was Jane Doe. 7 was Fixer Upper Mystery. 6 was Signed, Sealed, Delivered. 5 was Mystery 101. 4 Cases of Mystery Lane. 3 Chronicles Mystery. 2 Mystery Island. And number 1 Curious Caterer.
Great list. Gosh, so you're happy with the number one. Yumi, what was yours? I'm dying to hear your list.
Oh, this is going to be great. Everyone's going to love it so much. I was clearly in a place when I was watching all of these. It's my only defense. So 10 is Garage Sale Mysteries. 9 was Flower Shop Mysteries. 8, Fixer Upper Mysteries. I know everyone's going to like groan and Aaron Beth's going to give me this facial expression. 7 was Picture Perfect. 5 is Oh, sorry. 6 is Darrow Darrow. 5 is Crossword. 4 is Gourmet Detective. 3, Curious Caterer. 2, The Cases of Mystery Lane. And 1 was Mystery 101.
Wow. What did you like about, we didn't talk about the Fixer Upper. What did you like about that series?
I could have done without Jewel singing. She has a lovely voice, but it was weird that they jammed it in there. But I actually thought she's really charming, right? And I like it when there's a mystery that there's a reason that the non-professional is investigating it, right? So there's a personal tie-in to why they want to be stick their nose into it, as opposed to most of the Hannah Swenson Murder She Baked mysteries where it's like just happenstance and then she launches into her investigation. Which is not to say I don't watch every one of them, right? I watch I watch all of these, but I don't know. I thought it was really good, and I discovered it a few years ago, and I didn't watch it the first when it came out originally, and I found them I think during COVID, and I enjoyed it. I don't know, and I thought she did a fine job actually as the lead.
I actually read the book series of this. It's by Kate Carlisle. And actually, Whitney, you had Fixer Upper on your list too.
Did. I loved it. I love the twist at the end with that. That was a fun twist I didn't see coming. I loved Marcus Rausner as a bad guy. I gave it like an extra point for that. Loved Colin Ferguson. I thought everyone really had great interactions with each other. And I thought that there was a lot of, I say fun, but like there was a bomb that went off in the beginning and then that was connected to this and everything kind of was interwoven. And I loved how that all played out.
I would love for them to actually bring this one back. I think that would be really good, especially with Marcus as he is now and Colin Ferguson, I just adore. So great,
Oh.
great picks, you guys. Yumi, did you want to say something or no?
No, I was going to say one more random comment about Gourmet Detective, which is in my notes, which is Kim Sustad, exclamation point. Her hair, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Like,
That same note in mine.
What's up with
what
her
did they
hair?
do to her hair? Like,
I
what?
think mine was I think mine was what is up with her hair?
I just
That
looked at it and went, oh, you can
they
tell this
had
is
a
before she is like, a star for them because they're like, that was criminal what they
but they
did to
had
her.
her headshot. It was obviously her headshot on the board, and she looks beautiful.
I
That
know.
party,
I
she
know.
had like helmet hair. It's so
Oh,
bad.
It was so bad.
there's nothing worse.
I just had to get it in here. Yeah.
Okay, so Jenna, don't keep us in suspense here. Tell us how everybody did. How'd they do? Who won this match?
Okay, coming in third is Yumi with 7 points. She had six chosen. One of them, she got 2 points for it being in the same position. Whitney came in second with 9. She had 6 in chosen and 3 in the same position that it was chosen. And Aaron Beth, you're the winner with 10 points. You had 7 chosen and 3 were in the same position as the drafted.
Third
What?
time's a charm, I guess. Because I came in last on the last year's I did.
Aaron Beth, this means you're eligible for the HMD 2025 championships. Oh my God.
Yay!
And if you and Kate both make it, I'm totally screwed. So I need to like, where did everybody go? Wow, congratulations, you guys. This was so much fun. You're all coming back next year to do the mystery one-offs. That should be a lot of fun. So, listeners, be sure to follow Hallmark Movie Drafts wherever you get your pods. It's available everywhere. Subscribe to our new YouTube channel. Meet up with us on Instagram. And if you love HMD, please share and recommend our podcasts and our socials with your friends. We love hearing what your top 10 would have been or what your number one is. Take a moment to leave a review on Apple and on Spotify. It really helps Hallmark movie fans to find the show. Coming up in April in just a couple of weeks, it's the Nikki DeLoach edition. Drafting that top 10 list will be Thaddeus, Dr. Thaddeus, that is, Emily, aka Mrs. Walker, and Daniel Thompson from the Deck the Hallmark podcast. So buckle up, people, because they're all very passionate Nikki fans and very competitive players. So once more, for the final time, here's the definitive list of the 10 best Hallmark Mystery Series premieres as drafted by Yumi, Whitney, and Aaron Beth. Here we go. At 10, Garage Sale Mysteries. At 9, Gourmet Detective. At 8, Jane Doe. At 7, Darrow and Darrow. At 6, Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries, A Bone to Pick. At 5, Mystery 101. At 4, Mystery Island. At 3, The Cases of Mystery Lane. At 2, Mystery Woman. And at number 1, Curious Caterer, Dying for Chocolate. Great job, everyone. Let's all say bye.
Bye.
Dying for chocolate now. Hallmark Movie Drafts is a monthly production. Stephanie Purcell creates the movie synopses using descriptions from IMDb or Hallmark.com as a base. Kate Baca vets the list of eligible movies and manages our Letterboxd account called Hallmark Drafts, where you'll find the list of eligible movies for each show, as well as the final top 10 list and the panelists who drafted them. Erin Beth Cermak creates the Where to Watch lists and the trivia round questions, and along with Stephanie and Kate, provides additional creative, research, and hosting support. I'm Lynn Austin. I'm the showrunner, producer, and host. I staff the panels, create the show topics, manage the production schedule and the HMD socials, and edit and publish the podcast. Intro and outro music is provided courtesy of Amato Zapana. Thank you to the Deck the Hallmark Double-Deckers, who share their passionate opinions on these Hallmark movies that we love, or maybe not love, so much.